Hi, welcome back to Community Questions. I'm Jeannie de Bon. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope you've been enjoying this series. So I had a question about feet. What shoes do I recommend? What exercises? I'm not a podiatrist, so I'm not really going to recommend, I'm probably not the best person to be recommending shoes. But we've got a great interview with Sophie Roberts on the Zebra Club all about shoes. But any good podiatrist could help recommend shoes. You know, generally you want something that's got good support. One thing I would say, probably don't wear unstructured flip flops. So like the very, very flat ones. It's caused so many problems, including things like plantar fasciitis. You have to have really good articulate feet, I think, to wear flip-flops, and tissue that's not sensitive, you know. So you can get, I think it's Ufus, the brand. A lot of our Zebra Club members highly recommend that because they do flip-flops, but they've got support and arches. They also do shoes. But again, have a chat with a podiatrist, an EDS aware podiatrist. Sophie Roberts is one that's based here in the UK, but I'm sure there are people, I know in Australia, we've got Healy, who do Mo down there in Australia. He does great work. In the US, I'm trying to think, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but I'm sure you have EDS. Please put it, if you're watching this and you know somebody in America who is a EDS podiatrist, pop it in the comments below so we can help other people, or check the EDS Society Health Directory, Professionals Health Directory, because they might have somebody listed as well. But I can help with exercises. So I've got on this channel, there's loads of classes on here for feet, but my particular favorite is the live foot class that we did. So after this video, head over to the live foot class because it's like 45 minutes long, and I go through all my favorite foot exercises and why they're important. So I think that'll be helpful. But while we're here, I just wanted to talk to you again, still talking about feet. And I know some of you will have these, or if you're a physical therapist or you go to a physical therapist, your physical therapist will have these, I'm sure. And you can buy these off Amazon or other retailers. They're called Hedgehogs because they're all spiky if you have a look at them. Or balance pods, yeah. I use these a lot in my clinic with my patients because, again, don't use them if you're pregnant, okay? We don't want anything spiky stimulating the sole of the foot if you're pregnant. Do not use a spiky ball if you're pregnant, okay? But if you're not pregnant, these are great, okay? Because of the spikes, they stimulate. I'm going to show you what you do with them in a minute. They stimulate the soles of the feet. So you could use, it's very similar to a spiky ball. A lot of you I know massage your feet out on the spiky balls, which is fabulous. And these just add an extra dimension to it because you stand on them and they're obviously a little bit soft and a little bit wobbly. Okay, but a lot of my clients use them. We use them a lot in the clinic. And I'll tell you why. And again, actually there's two reasons for this. And you know, you don't actually have to use these if you haven't got access to them, and then we are going to do one footy exercise with a ball, okay? So if you've got one of these Pilates soft balls, go grab that as well now. So these are great because they're stimulating the feet, and obviously feet want to be stimulated. You know, we wear shoes all day. They're not really getting any action. They're not getting the ability to move. All our little joints in our feet are not getting stimulation. So this will help stimulate the feet. Now, because they're a little bit wobbly when you stand on them, and you'll see in a minute, all the deep stabilizing muscles in my body have to work a little bit. I highly recommend holding on when you first start doing any kind of balance work. Now, I'm not talking about jumping on a Bosu ball or anything like that. That's a little bit too strong, okay, especially if you have a tendency to grip or brace up here. I'm not suggesting we do that, okay? These are not any way as challenging as a Bosu ball or a wobble board, okay? You could also use a sit fit. Some of those sit fits have got spiky side to it, exactly the same, amazing. You could use one of those, okay? So, but the reason I like them is because your whole system is stimulated in a very nice way, okay? It's very hard to cheat when you're on a Hedgehog, okay? So let me show you what we can do. Again, if you've got a sit fit, if you might have a balance pad as well. So if you've got something that's a little bit soft and squidgy that makes you feel a little bit stimulated from the feet, then do that, okay? Can't really do it on a spiky ball because it will go flying. While we're doing this, you could just rub your feet on the spiky ball. So you won't be able to see my whole body. I'm going over here because, as I say, I highly recommend holding on when you first start doing anything like this. So you can see we've got 2 pads. They generally come in packs of 2. And barefoot, you end up with little marks on your feet. So you might want to do it with socks. But I'm going to stand, there we go, hip distance apart, and I'm just holding on here for now. Okay, so if you were doing it, you'd be side on, yes, but I'm just facing you. So I'm standing on these little balance pods, okay? Now I'm going to let go, and you can see I'm not still. You would never be still, okay, unless you're some acrobat, Cirque du Soleil, amazing dancer type person who can balance on, you know, in ballet shoes, okay? Most of us will not be still because our body will be finely adjusting to the information that it's getting, okay? And I might have moments of stillness and then it will suddenly go funny again and I'll start wobbling, okay? But I'm balancing. Now, my knees are soft, so I'm trying, if I hyperextend my knees, so if you're somebody watching who locks their knees, look what happens when I lock my knees. Oh, I totally lose my balance. Okay, so it teaches us how to keep our knees soft, which is amazing, okay? Now my feet are obviously going, oh, what's going on here? I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Can you still breathe? So can we still breathe while we're doing this, okay? And you don't have to stay on here for very long. So when I come off, my feet feel amazing into the ground and I've still got soft knees and I suddenly feel very connected to the ground, which is super important, right? When you're trying to strengthen your feet. So not only have they been stimulated, they suddenly feel alive. And like, oh, now when your feet feel alive, that information comes all the way up the body. Okay, amazing. When you get a little bit more proficient, if you like this idea, again, you might not like it, but progression from that is I get my clients to stand in a walking stance, so one foot in front of the other, and again, we practice balancing in this way. Again, try not to lock out those knees, trying to keep it soft, but again, fantastic way of strengthening the whole body. Now I threw these in here as well. The reason I got these in here is because one of the other questions I had was, what can I do with my child? What exercises can I do with my child? Now, on here, few years back, so if you scroll back through the videos, I did 3 little classes with my son when he was much younger. He wouldn't do it now, but he's hypermobile, and we did some classes together. So you can look at those, and they were great fun, and we had fun making them. So there are 3 classes on there for children. The thing with children, so these are great. My point was, these are great for children as well, because they're fun, right? So they're working all their stabilizing muscles, and it's a bit of fun, right? Who can stand on the Hedgehog without, wobbling too much? So with children, you've got to make it fun, because they don't really want to lie on the floor and just do breathing exercises, right? We've got to make it a little bit more interactive for them. So they need things like foot and ankle stability, stability through the trunk, yeah, shoulder stability. So here you're getting them, again, you could use a sit fit, you could use one of those big foam balance pads, whatever, but you're making it fun, you're making it interesting, and it doesn't seem like exercise, right? It's not hard, it's not like, oh, I've got to do my exercises. Stand on your hedgehogs for 5 minutes and you'll wake your whole body up. So amazing. So look at the children videos on here, but consider buying. You got to have toys. You got to have toys when you're trying to help children, and you got to make it fun. The Pilates squidgy ball is another great one. You know, if you get really proficient on these hedgehogs or your balance pad, start trying to catch a ball or have someone throw a ball at you. You know, things like that just make it a little bit more interesting for our younger hypermobile people. Now, again, for children and adults, let's do one more footy exercise. So you'll need your ball. Now, again, you might need to hold on. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Okay, so grab a chair, do it next to the sofa, do it next to your kitchen counter. Don't wobble around too much. It's fine. Okay, just use whatever you need to do. Okay, so foot exercise plus a stability exercise. Ball in front of you. Put your foot on the ball. Now the tendency is to start collapsing into it and using it as a stabilizer. It's not a stabilizer, it's too wobbly. So rest, light touch, lightly rest your foot on the ball. This other leg is doing the stabilizing. And what it wants to do is collapse out to the side, but actually look, I'm more unstable now. So I'm going to try and keep this thigh bone right up into my pelvic socket. My glute is working, my foot is working, a lot of ankle stability going on. And this guy here is just resting. So I've got one leg on an unstable surface, one leg doing its utmost to help me balance. This is also great if you don't like standing on one leg. That's too much. Start challenging yourself by putting your foot on a ball, okay? That might be enough. Let's come off. Give our legs a little shake. Try the other side. So that might be enough. This is stage one. So maybe at this stage, and I need to hold on to a chair, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep this hip stable without collapsing. So we don't want to be out here. You've got to draw this leg back in. Don't put too much pressure on this ball. Yeah, it's a light touch. And can you breathe? Of course. Can we integrate our breath into this? Okay. Again, great for children. Yeah, can they do this without wobbling too much? And then just come off, give your legs a little shake. Now, what you can add to that, I think I need to come back a little bit, is once you've mastered that, you can add a little rotation. Hopefully you can see me. So if you can't, I'll describe it to you. I'll show you in a minute. From here, can I rotate to the side and back to the other side without sort of collapsing, without the ball going with me? So I'm keeping my pelvis still and just trying to rotate my rib cage on top of my pelvis, yes, without the pelvis rolling. So if I was standing, yeah, my legs on the ball, it looks like this. I'm just doing this, but hopefully I'm not falling from side to side while I'm standing on the ball. Okay, so let's just do the other side. Again, this might be more advanced, okay? You could, of course, do this sitting. So if you don't want to stand, practice putting your foot on the ball and doing a little spinal rotation in your chair without the pelvis moving, okay? So I hope that was helpful. Again, great thing for children to do. So in the class with my son, we use the ball a lot. We've got some really fun things that we do there. So hope that helps with feet, waking up our feet, and obviously feet, super important for our balance. So I hope that was helpful and another little idea to do with our ball. So thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you again soon.